What's cracking, everybody? How's it going? If you're interested in learning how to craft gear, then look no further. The first thing that I would assume is that you've leveled up your town vendors in Sacrament, including Eleanor, which is used to infuse items. The second thing is that you are familiar with embers. Embers can be found in large chests. They can be found fishing, digging in dirt patches, from bounties, and from Crucible. Now, from my personal experience, doing bounties and systematically farming those in multiple different realms is the fastest way to get them. Let's start with white gear. You need to consider something when crafting weapon or armor. The first thing is, do I have the correct facet? Now, if you look at this piece, the Singing Pearl, you'll see that there's no adjacent affix connected to it, no facet. But if I click on this cursed crone here, you can see that there is a durable facet next to it. I'm going to link a website and put up all the different facets on screen now. So here's the list of facets that you're able to see on No Rest for the Wicked. This is in the wiki. So you can see that there's a different affix for each facet and a positive benefit and a negative benefit on each facet. So here's a list of each one for the weapons and armor and also the shields. You guys can pause that or go through that in your own time or just visit the website, but it's very helpful. Once you have your white item, you can take it to Eleanor. You're able to infuse the white item with any kind of gem. Now, for the sake of this demonstration, I'm just going to put anything in there just randomly. So we can put lightning damage, for example. We could put max stamina, pearl, and say a feather, whatever. The good thing about white items is you're able to separate the gems and take them back out. The gem will be intact and the piece of gear will be intact. Should you do this with a blue weapon or armor or a purple weapon or armor, that item would then be destroyed should you remove anything from it. We'll get to this later, but when you exalt an item, which is to modify existing enchantments to their optimal best performance, you're not able to do that with white items. You're only able to do that with blue items and purple items or cursed items. Now, these are two staves that I do actually want to craft. So you can see that on these two I have the durable facet on them. So what we will need to do is decide if we want it to be a blue or a purple item. If we want it to be a blue item, we can use an Awakening Ember. This is going to make it blue with magical rarity properties. We're going to add this to one of our staves. This one here is fine. And now you can see that we have some enchanted affixes on there. These are not affixes that we want. The second staff that I'm going to level up, I'm going to add a Corrupting Ember. This is going to corrupt an item into a purple item. So we'll do that now. Now you can see we have a Cursed Crone Staff. The reason why these purple items are cursed is because you'll see at the bottom it says lose 11 focus on damage taken, which is a negative effect. We are able to use these effects to our benefit later, and there are a few things that I want on it. The first thing that I want is I want to take off an enchantment, the attack speed increased by 9% of current durability. This enchant is not maxed out, as you will see by the enchantment list I'm about to put up now. Alright, this is actually the No Rest for the Wicked wiki as well. This is all of the enchantments. You can see, for example, that stagger damage increase is a range of 15 to 30%. So actually we can see the exact number that we're looking for to save. So you can hoard the pieces of gear that you want to take the enchantments off later to make the best pieces of gear for your arsenal. I'll put this website in the description below, but it's a good thing to keep in mind when you're collecting items that you want to, get the best rolls. We're going to add what's called a Radiant Ember to this item to boost that enchant effect up. These Radiant Embers are really rare, so be careful and don't waste them. So we're going to go to our item. We're going to click on it, and you can see now that it's a percentage. Be careful when you upgrade these with Radiant Embers that it is not a decimal point of a percent, because sometimes it can cost 2 to 3, maybe more radiant embers to level a stat from a 9 to a 10%, or a 5 to a 6, or so on and so forth. We want to make sure that it's at the max. And even though this says 80% to 95%, it's still rolled at the 10%, which is what we want. So that's fine. So now we can see that that's there. Now we want to use what's called an Essence Ember. The Essence Ember is going to take that enchant off that weapon, and it's going to store it on another Ember. So we now have a charged Essence Ember with the attack speed increased by 10% of current durability on it. We are now able to apply this to our blue weapon, like so. These weapons, however, are experiments that I am just having fun with, so don't just take this with a grain of salt, would you? Now, I want to take the durability increase of this weapon right here, so we're going to get another Radiant Gem, or Ember. And we can now see that it's 90 to 100%, which is 75. Going to use another Essence Ember. And we're going to take this durability piece off, and we're going to apply it to our Cursed Crone Staff. Right, here's fine. So now the idea is we want to scale our durability as high as possible so that we get our attack speed as high as possible off the durability total. So we're going to add one more affix to this. Now you can see that we have critical damage on there also. Now we're going to go to the infuse option on Eleanor. We're going to click our staff. We're going to add a lightning gem to it. And now our enchant and gem are complete. Now we're going to go to the rune option in Eleanor. We're going to click on our grasping mage's wand. And now we're going to remove one of these runes that we want. So I'm going to take lightning dart off. Now for the second one, we're going to take these gems out. And we're going to take the rune off this one also, which is Lightning Blast. Great spell, by the way. Now that we have our rune option open, we're going to go to our Cursed Crone Staff for crafting. We're going to add the runes to it. So Lightning Blast. And we're going to add Lightning Dart. Now the last step of the runes are to put them in the order that you would like them on your bar. So I'm going to put my Lightning Dart up on square. I'm going to put Lightning Blast on triangle. Lightning Sweep on circle, and Chain Lightning on X. Now that we have all our runes in, all our enchants are good, we're going to take this to the smithy. So we're going to see Fillmore. We're going to hit upgrade, and then we're going to go to our staff, and we're going to upgrade it. You can see on the resources on the side there of what we need to increase its level. And it went from an 8 to a 9. And we want to level this till it gets to 16. Alright, we're going to upgrade for the very last time. Now we have a 16 Crone Staff. The last thing to do is to go through and check if everything's in the right order for your runes. We want to check we have the right gem in there. We want to check our enchantments. They're all good too. Yep. The very last thing to do is we're going to exalt the weapon. So in order to do that, we're going to use our Sublime Embers. We're going to take some of these. We're going to put it over our Cursed Crone, and we're going to hope that it lands on attack speed percentage of current durability. So let's go. There's one. There's two. It's landing on crit damage, which isn't bad either. Alright, we got some more attack speed, that's good. And we got more crit damage. So overall, that's not too bad. And that is how to craft blues. Let's do a purple, just so we're absolutely sure we know how to do this. Just for context, this is what a good mage staff looks like. we want a good amount of rune damage. The reason why I like rune damage over damage versus larger enemies is because rune damage does damage to everything, including players. Whereas damage to large enemies is just for the larger types of enemies like the big ogres and trolls and stuff, and bosses. Alright, so you can see at the bottom of my staff it says Drain Health in Combat, which is the cursed effect of the purple. That's the best one that I recommend. As you can see in our gems, we have 12% life steal. We're going to get our health back, it's fine. The process for the cursed weapons is the same as for the blue weapon that you just saw, except there's one step that you need to change right at the end. We're going to use Fallen Ember for this. So it's going to change or alter an existing enchantment on this purple. In this case, we're going to change our negative curse. These can also be used to respec in the Crucible, but you'll learn about that later. So we're going to use this now on this cursed Crone Staff. We're going to change our negative affix at the bottom. And we got it right. First try. So Drain Health in Combat, that's perfect for what we want. I'm not too sure what I want to do with this weapon right now, so I'm going to leave it. But this is, I feel, an accurate demonstration of how to get the best gear in the game. Aside from one point, which is you can also exalt weapons at the Watcher. So if you go all the way up to the top of the tower, it's the very first quest you get in the game when you have to run to the tower. You can construct this elevator through Danos. And takes you right up to the top. It's pretty cheap. I think it's just copper and some wood or something. Or no, I think this one might be iron. Iron and some spruce wood. But we talk to the Watcher, and the Watcher can exalt items for us. So just for the sake of demonstration, I'm just going to do it to some junk. So I don't know. We'll do it to these daggers, whatever. So if we click it, it costs at the bottom. You can see the cost to exalt. It's marrow and torn sinew. It looks like. So you got torn marrow, torn husk, and torn effigy. And you can purchase this with the torn sinew that is obtained through pestilence zones. That's an endgame activity that you do later, where everything turns dark and cloudy, and you've got to clear a certain amount of enemies and a boss at the end. And that's how you get all your torn sinew and stuff like that. Anyway, that's going to be it. I hope you guys learned something. I tried to do it as simple as possible. Have a good day /night, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya.